So the two numbers that you see on the graph are actually your personality numbers, and they range from 1 to 6. So the first number that you're going to see in terms of your personality is going to be either 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. And the first number you see is the number that describes the way that you see yourself. Also, your most dominant state, something that you're very conscious of, that's who you are. So if you see the number 1, you understand that you are a knowledge seeker. So on the inside, you would see yourself as an investigator, okay? You seek out all the facts and information because understanding things, knowing about things, and being armed with the facts is what makes you feel safe. You feel confident when you feel well prepared. You are someone who finds yourself going down the rabbit hole to find information which may express itself as loving, higher education, or just Googling everything. Okay, and the way this expresses itself is unique to you, but just so you know, this drives who you are because it's essential for you to know things. It's part of how you establish yourself. So if you have 1 as the first personality trait, the way that you see yourself, you're dominant. This is because you are thirsty for information, and that's part of your purpose. Okay, so other people may misunderstand this need to know everything, this nosy, but that's because to them, it would take a lot of inauthentic effort to be that curious. Okay, because they can't see how it's such a natural draw for you to be so curious about these things, because they would just dip their toe into things that fascinate them, but not proceed into understanding them to the fullest. So don't judge the things that relate to your work or your home that you want to go down deep in. It's not just about understanding and expanding this information. It's about how to implement it into your everyday life that you're concerned more with. So you're not doing this for the sake of knowledge. You're doing this for the sake of turning that knowledge into your gift, information that you can share. Okay? So that's the 1. Okay. The 2 is a hermit, like myself, which means that you need to spend a lot of time alone. That's your dominant state, and the way that you see yourself is a hermit. Okay? And you become natural and proficient at things as a result of spending time by yourself, because you don't need other people to help you understand life. If 2 is your dominant state, like myself, then you enter your zone of genius by being by yourself. Now, see, the thing is, my whole life, I thought that I always wanted to be around people, and I didn't want to be by myself because I felt lonely, until I understood that my genius comes from me being a hermit, because that's my dominant state. Okay? So a lot of people, when they try to fit into the world before understanding human design, they try to live other people's ways, and they find themselves not feeling fulfilled because they're not operating as who they are, because they're simply unaware that that's how they get into their zone of genius. See what I'm saying? So for the 2, if the first number on this personality level is 2, that means that the world is going to pressure you to explain how you've come to know certain things, but you need to not submerge to their pressure, because a lot of these qualities and things come to you naturally and you don't even know how. So when you try to explain to people, because they try to ask you, like, you should have earned certifications and things, or a bunch of degrees to be able to be an expert on this, you do not. Because you naturally came to know them from the inside out. And you don't need to explain yourself. You just gotta show up naturally, authentically as you are, and tell other people that it comes naturally and it's easy. Okay, so tapping into the zone of genius, if 2 is your dominant, the way you see yourself as a 2, as a hermit, is not about learning from the outside world, because it's already all within you. It's about knowing how to get that wisdom from inside yourself. Okay, it's about doing these things in a hermit state by yourself that fuel you so you can enter into the zone of genius. And it's quite an unconscious process, because if you give yourself enough time to separate yourself from the energy of others, you slip into your zone of genius automatically, and your gifts come out from inside you. Like happened to me with writing, with music, with course creation, all came from hermit state, that I came to realize life. Okay, so for those of you who are like myself, if we are hermits, then our genius comes from being by ourselves. Okay, and it's cool because growing up, you know, you have this idea of what you're supposed to do, but when you discover who you truly are and start experimenting living this way, then life becomes so much easier. So now the 3, so the 3 is an experimenter. Okay, it's the way you see yourself, your inner world is a 3, it's an experimenter. And by the way, 1, 2, 3 is for the self, and 4, 5, 6 is for others. So now, if you're dominant, the way you see yourself is a 3, which is an experimenter. Your inside self is an adventurer, and it's experimenting with everything. You like to experience many different things, see what works and what doesn't work, and get that wisdom from the outcome yourself, so you can't learn from other people. So the main thing that prevents you from truly embracing this gift is because our culture doesn't see value of being open to life teaching us. Okay, because most people intellectualize everything about life rather than really living it. But for you, that's not true. You're an experimenter, and you are meant to trust that in the experience, in the experiment of life, that would be the best school for you. Okay, and that every outcome contains that wisdom within it for you to learn from. So stepping away from the intellectual, learn from the books, learn from education at schools, to learning by experimenting yourself. So you're the kind of person that would jump both feet because you have a taste for life and living life to the fullest. This is a deep need that you have. So the quicker you embrace that, the faster you will be succeeding in different things in life, because you're naturally designed to live through trial and error process yourself. Okay, so that's how you discover what's fun, what's interesting, what's playful to you, and also how you inspire other people to be brave to just do it and experiment in life. Okay, so the 4 after this is an opportunist. I'm a 4. It's not my dominant, but for somebody who 4 is the first number, that means that they're an opportunist by nature. That means that they spot the opportunities everywhere that they go. That means that the way that they see themselves is always being able to have opportunities, is always being exposed to opportunities, and always being fueled by people whom around them they get exposed to more opportunities. So for people who 4 is their first number, their life and success is measured and oriented by the people that are in it. So they're very gifted at bonding with people And they have this sense of who is the right person for them to spend time with. So the quality of 4, dominant 4, and the quality of your life is based on the quality of your relationships. So it's through the connections that you make that the universe will send you the opportunities that you desire. So the more you create connections that are real and authentic to your essence, the better fit opportunities will keep coming your way. Okay, so don't entertain relationships that don't serve your biggest purpose in your highest good, right? Don't serve relationships that don't have a higher vision for you than you do for yourself. Because all of your potential is going to come through your opportunities. So this may be a chance for some of you listening to this right now to not be afraid anymore to release opportunities, relationships, friendships that no longer serve. Because you are destined for so much more, and so much more is coming your way when you make that space inside yourself. Remember, when you release and let go, you create space. And when you create space, you allow for the space to be filled by the higher version of yourself. Yes? And you will see this when you test this out. When you release that fear of letting go, even if it's somebody you've been connected to for years, 20, 30, 40 years, it doesn't matter. They're occupying a space which could be open for the next bigger and greater thing if you just let it happen. You know intuitively, based on your strategy, authority, and your own inner wisdom that you've already mastered, that now you just get to tune into a little bit deeper what's right for you, what's wrong for you, who's right and who's wrong. So you got to trust that. You got to trust that. And don't judge yourself for being inflexible in social situations because they don't appeal to you. You got to be truthful to yourself. That's the only way you're going to succeed in every avenue of your life. Okay, so that's the 4. The 5. The 5 is the liberator, the person that's liberating, and that's the way that you see yourself, and that's your dominant state. So you have the save the day energy about you because you love helping people. And especially if 5 is your dominant, you are meant to create a big impact on a large group of people, a large community, bigger impact, okay? Because you provide value to a lot of people. Because of this, you're naturally outgoing, and people subconsciously sense that you can help them, that you can guide them or you can lead them. Sometimes they might put that expectation on you, whether they know it or not. They want you to fix the day. And just because you can fix a situation doesn't mean that the situation is correct for you. So you got to learn how to differentiate which problems are yours to fix and which are not. Because if you're working on fixing a problem that you don't feel that's yours to fix, you're going to deplete yourself from life force energy, and then the right problems are going to come along, but you're not going to have any energy left to help them. Make sense? So you got to only participate and fix situations as the liberator that excite you. All right? Because it's going to give you more life force energy. So sometimes liberators, 5s, try to fix everything because they can, because they're trying to make everybody happy. But if you step in and fix things for the approval and recognition of other people, you're only going to deplete yourself and become your not self. So when you're doing something that you actually want to do, improving the lives of other people and attending to the right situations, you will receive a burst of energy. Okay, so it's important for you in your personal relationships to feel valued for other things than just sorting everything out for other people. Okay, so let go of this compulsion to solve everything for everybody and just focus on the things you actually want to solve and bring you joy. Okay, and the 6. The 6 in your profile as the first number, the way you see yourself, your dominant states, is the wise sage. Your inside self is someone who possesses innate wisdom. You come into this world already wise to life. Okay, 6 is your dominant. But for your first 30 years, your connection to your inner wisdom takes a back seat. As you try to establish yourself, your goals, and your direction in life, you experiment with putting your energy into lots of different places, people, opportunities, and this is an important process. But as you come into the end of your 20s, you usually want to be more selective about what you put your energy into because you know what will reap. You know the rewards that you want. Okay? So as you come toward 30, you're going to want to start to make things more peaceful in your life and settle for yourself. Okay? So you're going to need to get rid of all the noise that's around you that pulls you in different directions so you can be yourself. And around 30 is when you actually realize that you are really wise and you're intuitive and you don't need to look outside of yourself so much as you used to. So the path of the sage is about not getting caught up in all these external world things and coming back to your relationship with yourself and relying on that source of wisdom. Okay, that wisdom that's within yourself rather than giving your power or validation to others. So the journey of the sage is that others are meant to see you as the role model, but you must be the first person to see yourself that way in order for that to happen. So you will always feel insecure when you're placing too much focus on what other people are doing or thinking. Make sense? And when you feel settled in yourself and in tune with who you are by tuning out the noise, you will reestablish that connection to your natural wisdom. And that wisdom is helpful, of course, for your own life, but it's also imperative for the way that you will be guiding, sharing, and showing other people how to live. As long as you create time and space to hear what you already naturally know, you will always be seen as someone who others want to look up to and seek guidance and wisdom from. So these are the 6 personality traits, your inner world. That's the way that you see yourself. Next, we'll talk about the same personality traits, but if it's the way that other people see you and how that plays out between your inner and outer world.